That is a strong grip here, and as you can see, I'm sort of preoccupied. Standing at the site where there used to be 3 homes, but now as you can see, all that's left is ash and rubble. As she escaped from the attempted kidnapper, jumping into the frigid Willamette River and then swimming downstream. Besides just wearing a hat, staying hydrated, using a spray bottle, the best way to prevent heat stroke is to stay out of the sun. Now, as you can see here, there's already a few inches of snow on the ground, but I'm gonna wipe away that snow. The tree is completely uprooted from the ground. Live on scene of a fire still smoldering in Saginaw, shooting at cars like this one as if there were targets at a shooting range. And he's ready to serve his customers delicious crabs like this. Championship on the line, bases loaded in the 9th inning, and the opposing pitcher balks to send in that winning run home.
An Albany woman who needs a new heart soon is looking for answers tonight.
And this comes as Oregon Health and Science University is pausing their services for their heart transplant program. And KZI 9 News reporter Brady Wakayama spoke with that woman to find out what she is doing for the time being. Of course, live in the studio now with us, Brady.
Well, Matt Renee, Diana Howell reached out to us here at KZI. She told me she's scared for her life because she's uncertain if she'll get the heart transplant that she desperately needs now that OHSU program is inactive for at least the next 2 weeks.
You closed your program, but you have a responsibility to me. You know, my life was depending on you.
Things are up in the air as Diana Howell tries to catch her breath and find answers after OHSU temporarily suspended their heart transplant program.
I'm devastated. I feel completely abandoned. I had this secure team that was taking care of me. There was hope and a future. And that's all was closed with a phone call that said, we're closing our program.
Hal says she has a serious heart condition that requires her to be connected to oxygen at all times. She says on Saturday, someone with OHSU called her about the suspension and told her she would be taken off of the heart transplant list. She was put on the hospital's transplant list a little more than a year ago. At the time, she was told she would need a new heart within 18 months. Hal says she only has a handful of months left before things could become dire.
I don't know if I'm going to live through this. I don't know how. So.
When I reached out to OHSU, a spokesperson sent me a statement saying they made the decision after 3 specialists left. I am told the rest of the team will continue to care for patients, and if they need to suspend the program longer than 14 days, they'll let patients know right away. But for Hal, she says time is ticking and hopes things get resolved.
My life is depending on you. You need to fix this. You need to fix your program. You need to fix the issues that are causing the doctors to leave, and you need to get your doctors back. So our lives depend on it. And I don't know what else to say. People will die without it.
And I spoke to Hal this morning. She told me someone from OHSU called her and told her they'll try to transfer her to a hospital in Seattle. But she says there are no guarantees she will get on their heart transplant list. Live in the studio, Brady Wakayama, KZI 9 News. Hundreds of students here at Lane Community College ride LTD buses. But for one student who uses a wheelchair, she believes she was not treated with respect as she tried to get on a bus. Getting on the bus for 18-year-old Rihanna Hensley is one of the many challenges she faces every day as she goes through life living with cerebral palsy.
People don't acknowledge that I am also frustrated with this situation. I don't want to have to use a wheelchair, but I am, and this is my situation.
She rides the bus twice a day to get to and from the LCC campus from her home in Eugene. But on Thursday afternoon, when she was trying to get on the bus after class, she says the driver told her there was no room for her and another passenger who was also in a wheelchair. The bus was crowded, but Hensley is upset the driver didn't ask the able-bodied passengers in the space reserved for passengers with disabilities to move.
He said they were first come, first serve. I then asked if he had asked people to move, and he said he wasn't allowed to ask anyone to move, and that no one was allowed to ask anyone to move but me.
A spokesperson with LTD says Hensley's incident was very unfortunate. She says the Americans with Disabilities Act requires drivers to ask able-bodied passengers to make room for passengers with disabilities, but they can't force them. Hensley says she hopes this story can be a reminder to be courteous to one another.
I have feelings too. I am very aware of all the comments. I'm aware of the body language. I'm aware of the stares, and I go home every night with those, stares in my mind.
A spokesperson with LTD says safety and care for their passengers is their #1 priority and hopes they can learn from this incident. Reporting in Eugene, Brady Wakayama, KZI 9 News.